What's up, guys? I'm going to be talking about the Eminem BET Cypher because I've been seeing it everywhere and he's my favorite rapper, so I'm super excited about it. Usually, when he drops something like this, it means he has a project on the way. There's rumor that he's going to be dropping a album in November, late November, but I'll get back to that, near the end of the video. Kind of what I think is going to be on the album, and I'm super excited about it. But I was just going to break down a couple lines that I liked, kind of walk through the freestyle. The beginning, it kind of seemed like he didn't know where to go. That's an awfully hot coffee pot. Should I drop it on Donald Trump? Probably not. That's all I got till I come up with a solid plot. He's kind of saying like, okay, here's a couple lines about Trump so you know what it's supposed to be about, but I don't really know where to go with this. Got a plan, and now I got a hatchet like a damn Apache with a tomahawk. I'm gonna walk inside a mosque with Ramadan and say a prayer for every time that he fucking talks, that he gets her mouth. I'ma stop. So again, it sounds like he's just back and forth rhyming because he doesn't know what to say. This is where I saw when I saw the video. This is where it started. So I think that people at BET kind of knew he was just fucking around, or maybe he said, "Don't show that part," or this is where it's gonna get good. But we better give Obama props because what we got in office now is a fucking kamikaze that'll probably cause a nuclear holocaust. And while drama pops, he'll wait for the shit to quiet down. He'll just gas his plane up and fly around until the bombing stops. Intensity's heightened, tensions are rising. Trump, when it comes to giving a shit, you're as stingy as I am. Except when it comes to having the balls to go against me, because then you hide them. So he's saying, like, we got to give Obama props because now we have someone that starts shit, and once he starts it, he's not going to acknowledge it. He's just going to fly around on his plane until everything, quiets down. Um, so he's bashing Trump. It's great. He says, when it comes to giving a shit, you're stingy as I am. I fucking love that line because we know Eminem doesn't give a shit about anything, and he's saying Trump's even worse, so it's still a heavy hit. Except when it comes to having the balls to go against me, then you hide him. I like that line, saying he doesn't have any balls, like he doesn't have the balls to come back at him because he's dissed him twice now in two different platforms. He did it in a freestyle, now he did it on BET, and Donald Trump has said nothing. So it's crazy because you don't got the fucking nuts like an empty asylum. This is one of my favorite lines in the entire thing. Racism is the only thing that he's fantastic for because that's how he gets his fucking rocks off and he's orange. I love this because people say you can't rhyme with orange, and he did it, but then he did it in a badass way. Everybody, if you know Eminem, he's a comic book fan, so I like that he kind of sprinkled that in there. But it's a great line. He is known for racism, so he's talking about the thing, which is kind of funny because the thing would be his dick, because that's how he gets his fucking rocks off. So he's talking about the thing, and he's orange, so it'd be Human Torch, but he's talking about his tan. Um, Fuck walking on eggshells. I'm coming to stomp. That's why he keeps screaming drain the swamp because he's in quicksand. Um, it's like we take a step forwards then backwards. But this is his form of distraction. Plus, he's got an enormous reaction when he attacks the NFL, so we focus on that instead of talking to Puerto Rico or gun reform for Nevada, all these horrible tragedies, and he's bored, and he would rather cause a Twitter storm with the Packers. So he's saying, like, we have real issues. He gets an enormous reaction for racism, and that distracts people. The fact that he's not helping Puerto Rico and he's not worried about gun reform for Nevada. All this horrible stuff going on, and all he really wants to do is reply to a tweet from the Packers. So he's more worried about Twitter than he is about the nation and what he actually should be doing. Then he says he's going to lower our taxes. I love this shit too. Then he says he wants to lower our taxes, and who's going to pay for his extravagant trips back and forth with his family when he's got his golf resorts and his mansions. Same shit that he tormented Hillary for and he slandered, then he does it more. So he's saying, like, you're just as bad but worse than Hillary now because you are president and you're taking trips and you're not focusing on things and you're spending more money and using more money than Hillary did, and you slandered her for it and then you do it worse. From his endorsements of banning support for the Klansmen, tiki torches in hand for the soldier that's black and come home from Iraq and is still told to go back to Africa. So he's saying he's disrespecting our troops that have fought, and you tell them to go back to Africa after they've been home and they fought for this country. It's disrespectful as fuck because they've risked their lives just to be told to go back to fucking Africa. That's bogus. You can't do that. You're supposed to be the president. You're supposed to support people, and veterans should be held at the highest regard, not treated like garbage. Fork and dagger and his racist 94-year-old grandpa who keeps ignoring our past historical deplorable factors. Now, if you're black and an athlete, you're spoiled little brat for trying to use a platform for your status, trying to give those a voice who don't have one. So he's talking about Colin Kaepernick and how he kneeled. He's saying they're not spoiled brats. They're trying to do something with their platform, and they should be supported um, instead of spit on and degraded. He says you're spitting in the face of vets who fought for us, you bastards, unless you're a POW who was tortured and battered, because to him you're zeros, because he don't like his war heroes captured. That's not disrespecting the military. Again, he's taken I believe Trump said something about McCain and how he was tortured, and I don't want to get into it. That's super terrible to say that you'd rather have his war heroes captured. Fuck that. This is for Colin. Ball up a fist and keep that shit bald like Donald the bitch, because he wears a toupee, so I like that line a lot too. He's going to get rid of all immigrants. He's going to build that thing up taller than this. And he did the Nazi symbol, which was fucking crazy. Well, if he does build it, I hope it's solid with bricks, because like him in politics, I'm using all of his tricks, because I'm throwing that piece of shit against the wall until it sticks. I like this because he's saying he's going to use all his tricks that he has in his book against Trump. So anything Trump says, he's going to use it against him, which is cool. That's what you're supposed to do in battle rap, and it's nice. This is the best part of the cipher, because he really does take a stand with this line, and it's kind of shocking. Any fan of mine who's a supporter of his, I'm drawing in the sand a line. You're either for or against, and if you can't decide, you like more orange split on who you should stand beside, I'll do it for you with this. Fuck you. So he's saying any Trump supporter who's a fan of his, I don't want you anymore. Go be on his side. It's me or him, and if you pick him, fuck you. The rest of America, stand up. We love our military, and we love our country, but we fucking hate Trump. So he's taking a political stance on this, and it's fantastic. I think this album is going to be beautiful. I'm thinking it's going to be kind of like a MOSH, really political tracks on a few of them. Eminem never disappoints with an album. I honestly, like I said before, I thought he should have ended it at MMLP2, because I love that album and it would have been a great send-off. And Stand for me is in my top 5 of songs for Eminem of all time, and he ended that saga or that chapter with Bad Guy, and I thought that was symbolic of him closing his chapter in rap. But I'm happy he didn't. I'm excited to see what this album entails, but he does have a lot to say. I don't think this is him. This is not the end of him bashing Trump. I think this is the beginning. Like I said, he did do a freestyle before, and now he's done the cipher. I think he's kind of just snowballing for the album. I like the cipher. Breaking it down, going through a few of the lines, he did have a lot to say, and he said something. At his age, he doesn't, in his status, he doesn't have to say anything. He doesn't have to do anything. Guys, he could have stopped making music, in 2000 after MMLP dropped? I know, Relapse and Encore weren't the best albums, but I respect that he's trying to make music. And you gotta respect the man, because he's using his platform for something meaningful. He's standing up for what he believes in, and just like he did with George Bush on MOSH, and says, go send him with an AK to fight with his, we have problems on our own soil. I think he's going to have a couple tracks about defending vets, America as a country. I think he's going to have a political stance on this album. And it's going to be great. I think on his last couple albums, there was a couple songs that were lackluster because he might have just thrown them on there. I think this is going to be a different type of album, a different sound to this album. I think he's going to be a little bit more angry than he has been. I think this is really going to rekindle his fire. I think this is going to make the album a lot better, because it sounds to me like he was out of breath when he was rapping, so he was really feeling and getting into these lyrics. And that's exciting, because I think that means it's going to translate to the album. I think the album's going to be a lot better, a lot more put together, and not just feel like a bunch of songs that were thrown in, because I kind of felt like MMLP2 kind of felt like there was some songs that didn't necessarily need to be in there. Like Rap God, yeah, it was fast, but there wasn't really a lot of, meat and potatoes to the song. It kind of just felt like it was air. There was nothing in the potatoes. They didn't taste good. You know what I mean? There wasn't a lot of a lot of heart or a lot of emotion put into that song. and a few of them that were on there. But I think this time around it'll be better. Like I said, I think the album's dropping in November, which I'm gonna be getting that right away. Big ups to Eminem for using his voice and his platform. Tell me what you guys thought about the cipher. I think he did great. He never disappoints when he's freestyling or doing a written. He always, when he comes out of his house, into the public eye, he always fucking kills it. So I'm a fan of this. I'm happy that he used his celebrity for something great, and I'm happy he's finally taking a stand. We might be getting an Eminem show too, maybe. Tell me what you guys think.